So look, man, ESPN has this thing they like to do where they like to say things and go after topics that garner engagement and are more about entertainment than it really is giving nuanced takes. Everybody, they want me to do stuff like this. They want me to react to videos that they have of them saying some really crazy stuff. And that's what I'm here to do today, everybody. I'm here to react to a video of something Mike Tannenbaum off of ESPN said. And look, although I disagree heavily with what was said in this clip right here, look, I have to concede here. ESPN got me. They want me to do stuff like this. They say stuff like this so they can get views, so they can get people like me talking. But hey, I have fun doing stuff like this, so I have no problem with it. But I just want to give a shout out to ESPN because this is the type of stuff they want to bait us into, and they've done a good job. I've heard a lot of people talk about this clip I'm about to react to a lot today. So ESPN is doing good at garnering engagement for saying a bunch of stuff that has no nuance to it. So let's react to this video. You guys tell me what you think down in the comment section below. I'll give my opinion on it because I'm really excited to spew what I got to spew here. So let's play this clip from ESPN this morning from Mike T.
Mike T, give us the last trade here.
All right, just hang in there for a second.
Okay.
I'm trading Deshaun Watson and a second-round pick to the New York Giants for Daniel Jones. And hear me out. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you have Dorian Thompson-Robinson, you have Joe Flacco, and now a 27-year-old Daniel Jones who has 1 year left of guaranteed money for $36 million and an enormous amount of flexibility moving forward. And if you're the Giants, you're getting Deshaun Watson, who's 29, who's making $46 million a year for the next 3 years and a second-round pick. And to me, you need a frontline difference-making quarterback. Because, Bart, right now, if you're the Giants, how in the world do you win the NFC when you have to beat San Francisco, Green Bay, Dallas, Philly, and Detroit?
With Daniel Jones, right.
Yeah, with Daniel Jones. So, to me, Deshaun Watson hasn't played well the last couple of years, but he has a high upside, and he's only 29 years old.
Listen, Mike T has a history of saying some things that just absolutely make me lose brain cells. He's outdone himself right here. Like, literally, Mike T has outdone himself here. This man has a history of a lot of asinine sports takes. That's not a indictment on his character or him as a person or anything like that. But just when it comes to the NFL, I mean, he looks like he's self-sabotaging himself because why would you get on air and say something like this? Like I said, this man has a history of asinine NFL takes. This is top 5. You know what? Not even top 5. This is top 3 tomfoolery right here. Okay, with that being said, let's actually react to the clip now. I think one of the funniest things that I heard Mike T really say in this clip was that Deshaun Watson is the frontline difference-making player that the Giants need. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask this question. Let me pose this question. If Deshaun Watson was such a quote-unquote frontline difference-making player, why in the world would a Cleveland Browns team, a contending Cleveland Browns team, trade him? And not even trade him, but trade him for a downgrade in Daniel Jones, on top of not only trading Deshaun Watson, but also trading a second-round pick. And I'm going to get to that second-round pick later. That second-round pick makes me laugh. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. But like I said, if Deshaun Watson was this frontline difference-making player that the Giants needed, why wouldn't the Browns keep him? Because if the Browns are a contending team like we saw this year, they could surely use Deshaun, right? Yeah, I believe that Deshaun is the frontline difference-making player that the Browns need. I'm going to get into a little bit of that later too. But look, he said that, the Giants are in an NFC where you got to face the 49ers, Eagles, Packers, Cowboys, all teams with pretty decent, good quarterbacks. And he doesn't believe that the Giants would be able to win with Daniel Jones at quarterback when you have those teams in your conference. So Daniel Jones would not help you versus teams in your conference with pretty good quarterbacks. Now, let's look at that from the Cleveland Browns perspective, because trades have to be fair, right? Trades have to be fair. They have to be realistic. The Cleveland Browns are in the American Football Conference, where you have Patrick Mahomes, you have Lamar Jackson, you have Joe Burrow, you have Josh Allen. Who am I missing? CJ Stroud, who they just got beat by. Who else am I missing? There are a ton of quarterbacks in the AFC that make their teams fierce contenders. If the Giants wouldn't be able to compete with Daniel Jones in a lesser NFC when it comes to quarterback play, how in the world would the Cleveland Browns be able to do it with Daniel Jones then? In an AFC that is much fiercer in quarterback competition. And if Daniel Jones isn't going to get the job done in the NFC, it is sure not going to get the job done in the AFC for a Browns team that wants to get over the hill, wants to get over the top. So, that is one of the more funnier things I found out about in this clip. How does it make sense? Trades have to be fair. They have to make sense. That is another part of the trade proposed here by Mike T that just did not make sense. And he tried to make it seem like the Browns were dodging a salary cap bullet here by trading away Deshaun Watson, as if Daniel Jones's contract isn't one of the single worst quarterback contracts that I've ever seen in NFL history. Added on to the fact that if the Browns trade Deshaun Watson, that's going to be a massive cap hit. It's going to be somewhere at least between $60 million and $150 million. Like I said, though, I want to talk about that second round pick, because the second round pick is another thing that really makes me laugh about all of this, because it really makes the trade like 100 times worse than it already is. Like, you already got a Deshaun Watson for Daniel Jones trade. So look, it's already straight up awful, but then he threw the second round pick in there, going to the Giants, not even to the Browns. Like, the second round pick makes this trade 100 times worse. He probably threw it in there as like the Giants' incentive, like, taking on Deshaun Watson's contract. But look, Daniel Jones is not that good of a QB for your team to be asking for a second round pick as an incentive to take on somebody else's salary, as if Daniel Jones's contract is not as bad as it already is. Like, are we serious? Like, I could see if we were maybe talking about like a guy maybe like Kirk Cousins or Matt Stafford or like some fringe top 13, 10, or 8 quarterback. But like, you need an extra second round pick with Deshaun Watson to acquire Daniel Jones? Are we serious? Like, that's just another funny thing about this trade that I just do not get. Like, are we serious? But ladies and gentlemen, the Browns are in a Super Bowl window. They're in a Super Bowl window. Why would they risk it by trading a high upside Deshaun Watson for a guy in Daniel Jones just so they can have a carousel of Daniel Jones and Joe Flacco and DTR? That's another funny thing about this whole thing is Mike T low-key tried to make the idea of a quarterback carousel sound enticing. Like, oh man, they're going to have Joe Flacco, DTR, and Daniel Jones. I mean, hooray. That's not ideal for a contending team. The Browns are in a situation right now where every year they do something good within the past 4 years, we're like they're a quarterback away. And if Deshaun Watson would just like make a full year of going through the motions, we feel like they would be in a good spot. And I'm at that spot right now for the Browns. I still believe in Deshaun. Why, for a team in the Browns that is a quarterback away, why would having a quarterback carousel help them out? Like, that's another thing that really confuses me about this trade is the Browns are in a Super Bowl window. Nothing about this trade helps them really compete to their best ability when they're in a Super Bowl window. That's something else I don't get about this trade is it's just unrealistic for the time and scenery that the Browns are in right now. Deshaun Watson has high upside. We saw Mike T say it. If he has high upside and he's something that the Browns are looking for, if he can just follow through with his talent and just come back to a little bit of what he once was, it's going to be good for the Browns. So why would they trade that? But guys, that's all. I had fun doing this. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is the type of stuff ESPN wants. This is how they garner their views. They're an entertainment business. It's not always about nuance. And that's why you have people on YouTube. That's why I shout guys like Quincy Carrier out for what they do, actually providing logic and not just saying stuff for clicks. So, this is what ESPN does, but I was more than happy to react to it just so, I can have something to talk about. But everybody, tell me what you think about the clip and my reaction down in the comment section below, everybody. Other than that, this has been Malik Hicks, a.k.a. the Ranker of Dogs by the Sport, signing off. Peace out, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.